Good evening, folks. I have discussion C for you tonight. We're discussing an article I read. Did a presentation on final moments before death, emphasizing that dying is a gradual process, not a single event. Okay, so we're going to go over that tonight for presentation C. Give me a minute to set up for the show and I'll get right into it. Thanks. The article explores the final moments before death, emphasizing that dying is a gradual process, not a single event. Dr. Christopher Kerr, an expert in hospice and palliative care, explains that most people experience a slow decline rather than a dramatic physical shift. He challenges the conventional view that death is a simply organ shutdown or organ failure. Instead, describing it's a holistic process where individuals progressively do less over months, requiring more rest and experiencing a decline in function. Let me know if you'd like me to explore the broader implications of this, such as how such as how these insights might inform caregiving approaches or end of life planning. I know these topics are central to your research. Caregiving for someone experience a gradual decline requires a holistic approach that balances physical comfort, emotional support, and practical care. Just a minute, folks. Okay. Here are some key strategies. Physical comfort, maintaining pain, breathing difficulties, and skin irritation is crucial. Hospice and palliative care teams often focus on pain relief without concern for long-term drug dependence. Emotional and mental support. Many individuals experience fear, anxiety, or loneliness as they approach death. Caregivers can provide reassurance by listening without judgment and encouraging open conversations about their experiences. spiritual and external care. Some people find comfort in religious or philosophical discussions, while others prefer quiet reflection, supporting their personal beliefs, and can ease distress. Practical assistance. As daily activities become more difficult, caregivers help with mobility, hygiene, and meal preparation. This support often transitions into end of life planning, ensuring the person's wishes are honored. Caregiver well-being. Providing care during this stage can be emotionally draining. Caregivers should seek supports, groups, respite care, and counseling to manage their own stress. Folks, if you have a client who's passing, be it if you've been a caregiver of theirs for let's say 10-15 years, and you two make a good connection for life, it is hard for someone just to deal with deal with the person passing, but also when you become friends with your aide, let's per se, when you let's say you're the person passing, when you pass, your caregiver goes through tough emotions, folks. So they need support also. They need to do self-care when you like if you're the client passing, they need to do self-care when you're passing. So with that being said, that if you are if the family members of your client accept you as extended family, they will support you. They will support your staff member as much as possible. It is what, when a person starts with a person, working for a person, and let's say that the client has a terminal illness from the get-go, people need to discuss that kind of thing with their attendant or with their aide. Explain if you have a terminal illness. Get their head wrapped around the fact that you may be passing during their time with you. Okay? So let's see. Practical assistance. As daily activities become more difficult, caregivers help with mobility, hygiene, and meal preparation. This support often transitions to end-of-life planning, ensuring the person's wishes are honored. Caregiver well-being. Providing care during this stage can be emotionally draining. Caregivers should seek support groups, respite care, or counseling to manage their own stress. Like I said, if you're a caregiver that's been with somebody for 15 years, let's say you come to work and you come to work in their apartment and you find they passed. You find them in their apartment passed away. That's tough for someone to find. So what you do is you excuse yourself and you go take care of yourself for self-care when that happens. Okay, so let's see. Next page, folks. Since you're deeply engaged in caregiving models that prioritize autonomy, you might find self-directed service or aid or agency with choice particularly relevant in this context. Would you like to explore how these models apply to end of life care? Hospice and palliative care both focus on comfort and quality of life, but they differ in timing, and treatment goals. Palliative care, available at any stage of a serious illness, even while receiving creative treatments, it helps manage symptoms, pain, and emotional distress, alongside with ongoing medical care. Hospice res- hospice care, reserved for individuals in the final months of life, when creative treatments are no longer pursued. It prioritizes comfort and dignity and, give me 2 seconds, emotional support for both the patient and their family. Okay, since you're deeply engaged in caregiving models that prioritize autonomy and find self directed services or agency with choice particularly relevant in this context, would you like to explore how these models apply to end of life care? Hospice care provides comprehensive support for individuals in the final stage of life, focusing on comfort and dignity and emotional well-being. Here are the key services typically offered. Okay, medical care and pain management. Hospice teams include doctors and nurses who focus on symptom relief rather than creative treatments. They provide medications, therapies, and monitoring to ensure comfort. Personal care assistance. Hospice aides help with bathing, dressing, and hygiene, ensuring patients maintain dignity and comfort. Emotional spiritual support. Social workers, chaplains, and counselors offer guidance, grief support, and spiritual care tailored to the patient's beliefs. Family support and bereavement services. Hospice extends care to families, providing counseling, respite care, and grief support before and after a loved one passes. Like I said earlier, guys, in another video, after someone passes, we in hospice care give families 6 months of supports. 6 months after somebody passes, we come in and support the family. Now, they can call us and have a discussion over the phone for support, or sometimes join one of our group therapies. It depends on how a person feels and how they want to do their end of life, care for themselves. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to throw that in also. Okay. Let's see where we're at. All right. Therapies and specialized services. Some hospice programs offer physical therapy, physical, occupational, or speech therapy to improve quality of life. Respite care, short-term inpatient care, allows family caregivers to take a break while ensuring their loved one receives professional support. Hospice care is highly personalized, adapting to the patient's needs and preferences. Since you're deeply engaged in caregiving models that prioritize autonomy, you might find self-directed services or agency with choice particularly relevant in this context. Would you like to explore how these models apply to hospice? Okay, guys, so that is C for you. I might jump back on later and do a D for y'all. I haven't decided yet, but I'll make that decision. I'll let you know if I'm going to do a D. I'll pop back on and do a D for you. And in a little bit, for now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.